Ghostface released Supreme Clientele 2.
Yes, he did.
It came out on Friday. When we were recording this, it came out just under a week ago when we were recording this.
Yep.
We heard it. We have thoughts. Let's get to it.
Let's
Now,
get to it.
yesterday, you said you wish you went first. So you can go first.
I knew you were going to do this. I didn't want to go first today.
All right, so I'll go first. I don't care. So I have a lot of thoughts. Number one, I think we got to stop doing continuations of classics. And
Yes.
I probably said this before, but I'm gonna stand on it. I don't want to see the part 2 to the classic.
Agree.
Let the classic just be the classic. If this was called something else, I think people's feedback would be very different. If this
Agree.
was called Mass Appeal Presents Ghostface, I think it'd be fine.
Yes.
Because
I agree with that.
Because this was just Ghostface having a good time, throwing records together and talking shit. It was
Yes.
cool. It was cool, but it's not classic Supreme Clientele material. Is it Ghostface talking his shit? Absolutely. Is it Superfly soul samples on hard beats? Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But that's all it is. There's
Yes.
not much more to say except it's Ghostface talking shit on some fly ass samples, because there's not many hooks, which means there's not really a lot of work here. There's a lot of like, I'm gonna give you fly verses and then just let the sample play. I think there's like 2 hooks on this whole project.
Yeah, and one of
And
them
I'm
I
not
didn't
saying
like.
that. What happened?
And one of them I didn't like. One of the first songs where it's very repetitive. I can't even remember what it's called. I did not
Where
like
he's
it.
just going nah 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 nah.
I hated that. I hated that.
Like, what is going on?
I was like, and so I'm just gonna jump in because I feel like this is gonna be better as a conversation anyway.
Do it.
At that point, when I heard it gets better after that, to me, right? Like after that song, it's like the first, I don't know, 2 or 3 songs. I was like, okay, I'm listening because I'm trying to figure out, what am I listening to? Do I like this? Whatever. To me, it gradually improves over time. It is a mishmash of things, but it does improve over time. Like I think the first part of the album is like a little sketch for me, just because I'm like, I'm not really sure where this is going. I don't really know what's happening. And then that na 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 stuff I hated that. I hated that so much. I listened to it. I listened to the album multiple times, and when it came back on again, I was like, it's still not doing it.
I don't want to hear nah nah nah.
I don't want to hear this. This is definitely a skip for me because I don't know. And yeah, listen, I am well documented saying that I love Ghostface down. Like I am a big Ghostface fan, so I was really excited about listening to this. I did not listen to it as, just to speak to your first point, and I'm gonna throw it back to you, but just to speak to the fact that it is supposed to be a continuation of Supreme Clientele. I purposely didn't listen to it that way because I went to the Googles and I was like, wait, let me remember when Supreme Clientele came out. And then I was like, no, I'm not listening to this and even touching what came before it because it's been so many years that it's like,
Yeah.
it can't
But the
be the
problem
same or
is,
similar.
he called it Supreme Clientele 2.
Agree. I felt like it was laziness, honestly. Could have just been called something
I
else.
kind of feel like that's the project. I feel like there were no hooks, there were not a lot of well thought out concepts, and I think that all does a disservice to the name, to the classic that you put out so many years ago. Because judging this as its own body of work, it's cool. It's
Yeah.
not the best Ghostface project ever. It sounded like he just went in there, threw a bunch of verses on shit, and had fun, which is fine.
Yeah.
which
A
is
good
fine.
time
I'm
was
not
had.
mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Ghostface has other projects like that, and that's fine. I'm not mad at that. I'm happy we got new Ghostface.
Agree.
Truly. And it sounds good. So as much as I'm criticizing, he's rapping his ass off.
He is.
He's doing his thing. It's still Ghostface. It don't sound like he tried to become someone else. It is true to the Ghostface brand of rapping characteristics, the type of bars he puts together, the metaphors. It was that kind of Ghostface, absolutely. But this just was not a well thought out body of work. And my biggest criticism, and this really annoyed the hell out of me, I don't need niggas introducing themselves every song. Every song, the legend, the man, Ghostface Killah. Yo, I don't
So
need
many
this every
stars.
song. I know whose album I press play on. I don't need every song for you or someone else to completely introduce yourself like I'm at a WWE event. I didn't need that every
But
song.
that's
That
but that's
was
what the
driving
album
me
was.
insane.
The album was very much. I listen. If this honestly, they could have called this Ghostface and Friends. That could have been the title of the album. That could have been the title of the album. I don't know if it's that. I don't even think it's that because Ghostface did a lot on his own. But I wonder sometimes when you hear something like this, I wonder if maybe I shouldn't say sometimes, but I wonder if when you hear something like this, when you come from a group, is it that your mind goes there when you create your solo music sometimes? So, because I feel like a lot of it was very ensemble, which is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's not a complaint. It's just an observation.
Yeah.
And I was like, there was a lot of like crew tracks, which is okay. I don't, again, don't, I'm not mad at it. But then again, don't call it Supreme Clientele too. Maybe call it Ghostface and Friends or something like that, or something that alludes to like, the crew is back together or whatever. I loved that his son is on it. I thought that was super cool. But I also couldn't figure out who was who.
Yeah.
And that frustrated me because I even went to Genius to try to figure it out, and it wasn't completely labeled because whoever put it on Genius probably didn't know either. Um, but I just got a live alert from the New York Liberty game tonight. Shensia is performing. You know who Shensia is, right? They're doing they're doing they're doing Caribbean night at at the New York Liberty game. Sorry.
Sure.
That just came through and I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, clearly I did not put on my do not disturb tonight.
No, you didn't.
Sorry about that.
Bringing it back to Ghostface, it's fine to me that he had so many people on it because that part, I think that's the one thing that probably is true to Supreme Clientele. I think that is one of the things that was true to Supreme Clientele because a lot of Wu-Tang members were on Supreme Clientele. So I was okay with the ensemble part because that part was probably the one thing that was reminiscent of Supreme Clientele 1. I just feel like this kind of was just Ghostface and his friends having fun. And it
Yes.
probably would have been better. It probably would have been better to call it something like that. Because he's done that before. And that's
Yeah.
fine. And just for a sidestep for a second, if I may, I appreciate
You
that
may.
although this thank you. I appreciate that although this is a Ghostface album, remember this is a mass appeal release. And so I appreciate that Mass Appeal and Nas and all of them over there allowed Ghostface to just be Ghostface.
Yes.
Because I could see a world where someone would hear this and be like, all right, Ghostface, let's make some changes. Let's do this, let's do that. And I appreciated they was like, hey, that nigga is an OG, a veteran, and a great MC. Just let him do his thing. And
He
I didn't
really
even think
did that.
about this. Yeah, I didn't even think about this when we heard the Raekwon or the Slick Rick album. Zuh. I just was thinking about the body of work. But on this one, at certain points, I was like, man, if I was there, I totally would have been like, hey, Ghostface, can we have a quick chat, brother? You might want to steer this ship somewhere because this ship is just going wherever the wind blows. And especially with that title, maybe you want to make some changes. I totally could see somebody in the studio doing that. But I love that they did it.
I
I
agree
love
with
that
you.
Nas and Mass Appeal was just like, hey man, let that nigga do his thing.
It did very much feel like let the OG do his thing. There were moments where you didn't say this specifically, and I don't necessarily know that this is the thing that you're talking about. But one of the things that stood out to me was that it was not politically correct at all. And I'm not saying Ghostface should be.
I was
So
gonna say, I don't think we're
please,
expecting that from Ghostface.
we're not, we may not be expecting it, but we do exist in 2025, which is, I mean, even the OGs are having to consider what they say or do because that's just the world we live in.
Mhm.
So, so I thought it was interesting some of the things that were said. I was like, huh, okay, okay. I agree. I agree that he stayed true to who he was and who he's been. I agree that it very much does feel like no one was trying to silence him or um make him be a certain way or talk a certain way. And I thought that was cool. I liked that he had fun with it. You could tell that there was I felt like there was a decent mix of like serious versus fun.
Mhm.
Um which I can appreciate because I just feel like also just to go back to existing today, we need fun just as
Absolutely.
much as we need conscious, we need fun.
Mhm.
So I really like that. The trial, kind of jumping around here, but the trial, I liked the trial. I thought that was smart. And I've always liked that. I've always liked when rappers, especially when they get together and they create something together and it feels like it wasn't just a bunch of dudes rapping on a song, but they actually somebody, even if it was just one person, somebody sat down and said, "You know what would be cool?
Right.
Like I like that sort of thing." I know to some people it might be cheesy, but I like that sort of thing, that kind of call and response sort of thing that they did. I thought that was super cool and talented. Like, I just think it's really creative to do.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
we
I agree. I
definitely got
thought that
Ghostface.
we did. We did get Ghostface. I agree with you. I think the trial and You My Friend are the two best songs on here because they're fully flushed out concepts,
Yeah.
not just niggas rapping. And talk shit tracks are cool, but there's 22 tracks on here, and I know there's a bunch of skits, but there's quite a few tracks on here. I don't
Yeah.
just want to hear niggas talking shit for 20 songs. So I appreciate that there were some fully flushed out concepts, and like, all right, let's really have a topic and talk about something, not just talk shit.
Yeah.
And the last thing I will say is, you know, I miss that we didn't. Ghostface is really good at quote unquote girl records, and we didn't get not one on this project. Even the one
You didn't
song
think
where I
so?
kind of thought, I don't think we truly got one because I was gonna say there was one song that it started off like oh, we about to get a real girl record. And then like half of it was just him talking shit. And then it was like, I'm gonna give you 4 bars of girl record. It was kind of weird. Ghostface is really good at quote unquote girl records. So him not having a real
Yes,
one up here was I kind of missed that. I was like, Ghostface, he literally has a whole project of just girl records, and it's good. So I'm like, what happened, Ghost? You just didn't feel like talking to the ladies this time? I
he
kind of,
didn't.
I kind of feel like that was missing here.
Yeah, but I just to echo what we've already said, it seemed like he was just, hanging out with the guys and having fun.
Yeah,
It didn't
yeah,
seem like that was the focus or the concern. And I guess in a way, I think that could be as simple as, well, I am an OG and I'm releasing this album after however long, and I just want to do what I want to do. I'm not really trying to hit the charts, or you know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of times girl records get made because you're trying to expand your base. You're trying to
yeah,
make sure that your music is inclusive. I don't
right.
think that the goal here was to be inclusive.
But that's why I'm saying I think it was exclusive because I think,
Yeah,
and maybe that's not the right way to say it here, but I think he excluded the ladies, which are they're part of Ghostface fan base. Not only is he good at
I
it,
agree.
but ladies like Ghostface. So I
Mhm.
think he did himself a disservice there. And just as a fan, I was like, oh, we didn't get that classic girl record, quote unquote, from
Because
Ghost.
they're great when he does them.
Yeah, he's one. He listen. Everybody can't do them. Ghostface is one of the people who's really good at them.
No,
Yeah,
especially rappers like him. I just feel like a lot of them doesn't. Some have tried and it don't really work for everybody. Everybody doesn't have the
the knack for it.
yes, the panache.